Another piece that's so important there is that she didn't see the rat. And that
Okay,
is
yeah.
so important because that's another piece of data. I'm not being heard. All right. So first up today, we have Andy. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Odille.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you? I'm good. How are you
Lovely
doing?
to see you. Very good, thank
Mm,
you. How can I help
Um,
you today?
so today I have a memory that I've been trying to change for a very long time, and it's like the only memory that I can't change. It's partially I think it's because it's not only like not a memory that's not empowering, but also it's a memory that I have a phobia associated with. You want me to just tell you?
Sure, you can. You don't
So
have to if you want me to do no content, but if you'd like to share it, absolutely.
Oh, that's no problem. It's better for clarity. So the memory is time when I was much older than a childhood. I was actually around maybe 15. So my mother was a bit of a party animal person, and she had a lot of events every night where and her friends would like get together and cook and eat and drink all night. While I was like in my high school age, I basically was up all night, kind of just waiting to go to sleep and waiting for the party to die down, and that was very frustrating for me. But for me, what I recall most was one night where, because my mother was always like drunk and not really there at home. She was there, just not physically physically there, but not there. She would not clean the house usually, so it was very dirty and full of rats, and there was like rat poop everywhere, and she just didn't
Wow.
care because she was drunk all the time. So one day I remember that she was like cooking on this like flat grill we had on the oven top, and it was late at night, and her friends were all drinking, and she was all drunk. So the food is just cooking there, I remember, and the stovetop is like flat. I remember like a rat directly came onto the like right next to the food, and it
Wow.
was just I have kind of a phobia of rats.
Okay.
I really dislike them.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of afraid of them. That's one of the
Oh,
only things I'm afraid of. So I remember a memory so much, and it wasn't the fact that at the moment I remember feeling unsafe, like because I had no control of like my life and what was going on, and like my sleep schedule or anything like that, and my education was suffering because I wasn't sleeping, so I wasn't going to school that much. So a lot of
right.
things were going on. And because of that, I remember that night that happened where the rat was just like basically right next to the food, sniffing it while it was cooking. And everybody just like music is blasting, everybody's just talking and laughing and
Yeah.
drinking. And I'm just like, Mom, there's a rat about to eat the food that's cooking right there next to you. And she just like, oh, where's the rat? Where's the rat? I can't see it. I'm like, don't you see this huge rat is right next to the food? This is disgusting. And then I kept telling her, do something, do something. And then she said, oh, it's fine. There's no rat. Nothing's going to happen. I'm like, it's right there. And then she was like too drunk to see it. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is horrible. That night I didn't eat because I knew where the
Oh,
food came from. So I was like, no, I'm not eating that food.
absolutely.
So it's been
Oh,
that memory that I just haven't been able to change. Like, because every
yeah.
time I try to change it, when I think of that rat, it just like kind of freezes my brain. Like I
Yeah.
just go into this like shutdown stage.
Yes, yes, I can understand that completely. That makes so much sense. And the thing is that there's a lot in that memory. There's a lot of different pieces. It's not
Right.
just it was a rat. There's a lot of foundational pieces in that memory. So thank you for sharing that, Andy. And so the first thing I want to point out here for everyone is that actually, although we say childhood and we go for childhood if we can, 15 is not too old for
Right. I
it to
guess
have
it's
an
still
impact on
childhood.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is effectively, in the greater scheme of things, as teenagers, we're still very much impacted by those experiences, the experiences we have with our parents and everything. And before I move on to actually changing the memory, I just want to check something with you. So you have a fear of the rats, and
Yes.
do you have the same fear if it's a cartoon rat? So, for example, Ratatouille or something like that.
No, I just kind of, I wouldn't say no necessarily, but like seeing the movie Ratatouille, it did kind of stir something in me a bit. Not
It
like
did.
fear, it was more like a disgust for rats. The thing is,
Yes.
I think they're like dirty. I just, that's part of the fear, but like full of disease. So it kind of scares me.
Okay, very good. What I want to do with this memory, and I think one of the reasons it may be so difficult to change, is that because of those lots of different pieces, we need stepping stones. And for anyone who's new to this method or to stepping stones, we'll put the link to stepping stone memories in the description of this video. So the first stepping stone, I would say, is that everything was exactly as it was, but the one difference we're going to make in the first stepping stone is that when your mother sees the rat, she acts appropriately.
Right.
So she does whatever you feel she should have done,
Okay.
right? So whether she kills the rat or she throws it out or whatever you feel like she should have done,
Kill the rat.
kill it. Yes. Okay. So can you imagine that, first of all?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So she responds with, oh no. So she's shocked. She's not just like, oh, it's just a rat. I'll just kill it. She's like, she responds like you would respond. She's
Right.
disgusted. You got that?
Yeah.
How would that feel if that were the case?
It feels alleviating, different.
Yes. So there's two pieces to that bit there, you see, because number one, you needed her to take care of the rat in the first
Right.
instance. Another piece that's so important there is that she didn't believe, she didn't see the rat. And that
Okay.
is
Yeah.
so important because that's another piece of data. I'm not being heard, right?
Right.
I'm not being heard. I'm not being believed. There's this danger and no one knows, no one's hearing me, which makes your brain amp up that state of emergency.
Hmm.
We're in even more danger when someone doesn't see the danger.
That's true. Yeah.
That makes sense? Good. So she needs to see it, acknowledge that it's horrifying. So she sees it from your perspective and then she kills it, gets rid of it. You
Okay.
got that?
Yeah.
Good. And then she says, that's it. We're not eating this food. We're going out for dinner.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That
How
helps a
about
lot.
that?
That helps a
Good.
lot. Yeah.
Good, good, good. And she takes you to a lovely restaurant for your favorite restaurant for food instead of
Okay.
eating at home. Does that feel
That
good?
yeah, that sounds much better.
Good job, Andy. Very good. So I want you to practice that
Okay.
until it feels established. You feel like, yes, that's good. And then you'll move to the next stepping stone. And the next stepping stone is going to be that it was something else. Now, are there any animals that you find cute?
Cats, dogs,
Cats and dogs, right? Do you have a preference between those?
dogs, I guess. Yeah.
Dogs. Okay. So instead of the rat, there was a puppy in the kitchen who was trying to get to the food. And you find it funny because it can't reach, but it's trying to get to the food and you point it out to your mum. Would you be able to imagine that?
Okay. Yeah. I can imagine it. Yeah.
Good. And how cute is that puppy?
Very cute. It's a white little Siberian husky.
There you go. Perfect. That's what we want. All right. So it's this cute little white husky puppy. And how does your mum react when she looks down and you point it out and you go, look, he's trying to reach the food, and your mum looks down? What's her response?
She's laughing. She thinks it's funny.
Good. Very good, Andy. Good job. All right. So that's the second stepping stone. In fact, that can be the final memory if that feels good. So then let's go back a
Okay.
step, do another stepping stone where your mother is not drunk. That's very important.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So your mum is not drunk. She is in a very good mood and she's laughing and chatting. There are no other people there. It's just you and her. How would that feel?
Much better.
Yes. Yes. And you could even add to that where friends turn up or they phone and she says, "Oh no, sorry, I can't meet up with you tonight. I'm spending the evening with my son."
Okay. I'll do
How
it.
would that feel?
It feels way better.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So let's put those together. So
Okay.
that's what's happening. It's just you and her and this little puppy. And perhaps the puppy is a present from her, birthday present for you, or something like that, if you like, or you got to choose the puppy. You can put whatever feels good there. But it's you and her and this little cute white Siberian Husky puppy. So how does that feel now if we look at that memory as a whole?
Feels nice, happy, warm.
Very, very good. Good job. All right. So then you want to practice that to establish it and make sure it's strong.
Okay.
All right. Did you have any other experiences with rats before that incident that stand out for you? Any earlier experiences? And if you haven't, the earliest one you can
Mm,
remember.
I don't think so. Not that I can remember.
Yeah. So my question for you then is, how do you know that rats are dirty or they carry disease, that kind of thing? How do you know about that?
Oh, well, actually, I do have some memory of like rats because we moved around a lot where I live. We were usually moving around every couple months or every year, and some of the houses we lived in did have some rats. So, but usually when my grandmother was living with me, she took care of it. Like she knew how to set up traps and poison and whatever.
Okay.
So
And
I was much more safe.
so was it from your grandmother that you learned that they were dirty and carry
Yes,
disease?
yes, yes. Now
Yeah.
that I think about it, yes, I remember when I was very little, I remember asking her like, "Oh, why do you trap the rats in those sticky traps?" And she said, "Oh, because they poop everywhere. Look at their poop. That's
There
that's
it is.
disease, and they'll
Yes.
get you sick."
Very, very good. Okay, good job. And of course, the reality is that is true. Not all rats, but there can be
Right.
extremely unhygienic and all of that. So it's not knowledge that is bad knowledge to have, but
Yeah.
you don't want to be frightened of them. So
Yeah.
you want to be able to be strategic about it, where,
Hmm.
if you see rat poop or that you see a rat, that you're able to take action based on strategy and logic rather than being frightened.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
And of course, you get pet rats as well. My sister had two at different times, pet rats. She
Oh no,
adored.
I never get a pet rat.
So it's not all rats that are, and in fact, rats are very intelligent as well.
Yeah, I understand.
So
I grew up in New York. There's rats everywhere. So.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And as I say, you want to have the logic behind it so that you are making decisions and taking actions based on fact and logic rather than fear. Let's take a look at your grandmother with the rats. Okay, so she set those traps. Now, what was her emotional state? Was she just strategic and matter of fact, or did she have an emotional reaction to the rat?
No, she was very calm and strategic about it. Like she didn't seem like worried or stressed out about it. She just said, "Oh my God, we have rats. Let's do something about it." And then she
Okay.
would just get the traps, and she would just explain to me like, "Oh, they're dirty. We have to get rid of them."
Okay. So now I want you to see if you can imagine your grandmother with a magic wand.
Okay.
And when she sees the rats, or she sees that, oh my goodness, we've got rats, she waves the magic wand and everything is clean and they disappear. How does that feel?
More calming,
Yeah,
relaxed.
yeah. And more control, in control. Then
Yeah.
she gives you the magic wand and she shows you how to do that. She takes your hand, she waves the wand, she says, watch, see, you do this and everything's clean and they all disappear.
Right.
How would that feel?
It feels strangely like really empowering.
Yes. Good. That's what we want. That's what we're aiming for. And then she tells you you can keep the wand. It's yours. So you always have that wand. And in the future, if ever you see a rat or anything dirty, you just wave that magic wand, the rat disappears, and whatever it was is clean.
Okay, yeah. I did realize now doing this work, I realized something I kind of have an obsession with things being clean because I also don't really like insects. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I remember also I have an issue with like roaches. Whenever I see a roach, I think like, oh, something's dirty. I must have failed it somewhere. I have to clean something.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. And it makes sense considering your experiences with your mother.
Right.
Right? So that was you developed that hyper alertness and hyper awareness of insects and rats and everything else as a way of trying to control your environment when you
Right.
had no control. So
Okay.
it makes sense. So that's why we want to give that little you that control now. You have that magic wand. It works on cockroaches as well. It
Mm-hmm.
works on everything. It works on insects. It works on dirt. How would that feel if that was the case?
Much more empowering and relaxing.
Very good. So you're going to practice that as well. Practice, you've got your
Okay.
magic wand and you wave it. Whenever you see something, you wave the magic wand and it's done so that that little you has ultimate control.
Right.
Okay. And allow yourself to fully experience that, fully feel it. And then I want you to imagine you're in the house with your mother. She's been drinking and there's dirt everywhere, and you are able to wave that magic wand. And what that magic wand does is it not only makes everything clean, it also sobers up your mother.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah. All right. And your mum, her reaction is as if she's been under a spell and you've just freed her from that curse.
Right.
And she goes, oh, I'm getting waves of goosebumps as I'm saying this. She goes, oh, thank you so much. And she hugs you. She hugs you and thanks you because you freed her from that curse or that spell. And how would that feel?
It feels I kind of got goosebumps too. It feels really nice. I
Good,
kind of
good.
got like a surge of energy throughout my body.
That's it. Very good, Andy. This stuff is core and foundational to
Right.
everything you experience as an adult. So changing this is going to have a knock-on effect on a lot of areas of your life.
Right. It was one of the last memories that I couldn't really change, and it was because of that phobia, that fear factor that I just had trouble with.
That's right. So now I want to check in with that. So if you think of a rat right now, in fact, don't think of an actual rat. Don't think of what it looks like. Just think of the word rat. Any reaction? How do you feel?
It's like a neutral feeling, but there is a slight like kind of disgust, but it's very like very little.
Okay. So now let's check Ratatouille, that
Okay.
little cartoon rat. Any emotions?
No, no, it's a yeah. I just
Good.
see it as a cartoon, kind of
There you
funny.
go. So that's different. Very good.
Yeah,
Good
that's good.
job. And now imagine an actual rat. And what do you feel?
A little bit of fear.
Little bit of fear. Very good. So imagine the actual rat, and I want you to wave your magic wand and turn it into something else. What would you turn that rat into?
Another animal,
What kind of animal?
a dog, I guess.
Yeah. And you can also turn it into a cartoon if you want to.
I'll just leave it as a dog,
A
a
dog.
regular.
Very good. Very good. So every time you see a rat, you use your magic wand to turn it into a dog.
Okay.
Okay. So keep practicing that over and over that moment, because what we're doing here is we are rewiring the neural networks connected to the idea of a rat.
Okay. Right.
Okay. So we're changing how your brain is firing, literally firing neurons when you think a rat.
Right.
Doing that repetitively over and over, and the cuter you can make that dog that you turn the rat into, the more effective this will be as well.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
All
sense.
right. Keep doing that. And then once you feel like, yes, that's easy to do, and I can feel the feelings of the cute dog, then go back to thinking of a rat and notice any differences. So you want to keep doing that until when you think of a rat, it doesn't feel anything.
Okay, I will.
And even when you think of a rat, you get the feelings of the cute dog. Bonus points for that.
Okay.
How does that sound?
It sounds like a much better idea.
Yeah.
It's already feeling better.
Good job, Andy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Very,
Thank
very
you.
good. So do you feel confident now moving forward with that?
Yes, yes. I feel like that was the solution I needed that I just wasn't figuring out.
Yay, good job. And thank
Yeah.
you so much for bringing this here because I know, these things always help others as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for the help.
You're very welcome, Andy, and lovely to see you, sweetie.
Same to you.